friends, it's Jess from jesscrafts.com, and today I'm here with a card for the Cat Scrappiness new release, so happy for you. It's a new stamp set from Cat Scrappiness that features a large kangaroo and a small kangaroo, as well as some flowers and leaves and a little heart. There's "You Make Me Jump for Joy," so happy for you, I love Rue, and congratulations on your little bundle as the sentiments. So just to be, upfront with you, I am on the Cat Scrappiness design team, which many of you know, and so I received this product in exchange for my design work, but I will also be sharing a coupon code if you're interested in purchasing it. So to get started coloring the kangaroo, I am using E31, 33, 35, and a little bit of E97. That marker cap got cut off a bit, sorry about that. But as you can see, looking at the kangaroo next to the one that I'm coloring, I experimented with a lot of colors first, trying to figure this out. I looked online at different kangaroo pictures, and I noticed that a lot of them had this sort of like red undertone, and I was really struggling with how to get that with my Copics because the browns that have the red are the E99, 97, 95, but like that was almost orange, which is not what I was going for. So I found that with the E30s combo, which is one of my favorite brown combos anyway, I could blend in some E97 and it actually blended out fairly well and added just that little tiny bit of the reddish color that I was looking for. So I'm going to mostly just focus on adding cast shadows, and that means shadows where like two objects meet and cast a shadow upon each other. So like where the belly overlaps with that leg there, it would cast a shadow, or the body is casting a shadow on the tail, and so where the tail touches the rest of the body, it will have a darker shade. And those, it's really the only kind of shading I'm going to do. I did use R00 and R11 for the ears. To create my background, I did a dry embossing with a die cut. So I used the Star Fusion die cut from Cat Scrappiness, but instead of die cutting it, I dry embossed it. And so you would just want to follow the instructions for your machine, but basically it tends to involve putting a kind of like rubber mat down. And then I cut that with the distressed edge rectangle in the largest size so that it had a little bit of interest. I wanted to create a subtle, soft, but interesting background for my kangaroo. I also decided that even though I really liked the "I love Rue" sentiment, I wanted to give it a bit more weight and prominence on the card, and I recently did this with the avocados as well that Cat Scrappiness released, and that just kind of shows me the value of buying these alpha die cuts. I've always been a big fan of alphas, and like adding the typography to your card can be really fun. So I have several sets of alphabet dies, but I do find that these ones are quite substantial. And these are from Cat Scrappiness as well. They are the condensed lowercase alphas. I personally am a much bigger fan of the lowercase than the uppercase, but anyway, so I'm going to cut the Rue out and I'm going to create the color for it inspired by the pink that I chose for the ears using the Worn Lipstick and Tattered Rose Distress Oxide inks, blend it down kind of sloppy like essentially. And I am going to cut two of each just to give a little bit of dimension and weight to the letters, so rather than just having a single layer. I did decide to fussy cut out the kangaroo rather than using my scan and cut machine, and I think it was just because it was relatively simple to cut out, and therefore I was like, kind of why not? But you certainly could do that as well. There are no coordinating dies at this time. I'm not a big fan of buying coordinating dies anyway. I did decide, since I'd already stamped this extra kangaroo, I would just kind of use it to pop up the other kangaroo. Normally, instead of using pop dots, I just use layers of cardstock anyway because I'm cheap. And so I just figured, well, here it is, and I was going to have to sort of toss that piece anyway, so why not just use it for a bit of dimension? So I will layer those up And I also wanted to stamp the rest of the sentiment. So I want to get rid of the rue part. I've placed it on my block, and then I'm going to use some painter's tape to cover up the rue because that will already be in the block letters. And then I will put my ink down using that Worn Lipstick Distress Oxide ink, and I will stamp it on this little banner. That is a fishtail banner from Cat Scrappiness as well. Great for sentiments. It comes in a variety of sizes in the single die set. And so I did decide I actually wanted the die, the banner die, to tuck in behind the kangaroo, and I thought that would kind of like bring the kangaroo a bit more into the sentiment, kind of make them interact. So I'm going to glue that down behind the kangaroo. I've already actually attached it and used that to help me place the kangaroo so it makes sense. I was just using my brush because this really textured background just kind of kept picking up little things from my desk. So that is something to consider with that sort of deep embossing, but I think it really turned out beautiful and added this sort of like almost lacy effect, which is weird because lace traditionally has holes, but it still has that effect even though it doesn't have the holes, just because of the deepness of the embossing from using a die cut. So I will just use some tape to attach the sentiment and my kangaroo, and then I'm ready for a finishing touch. Most of this did have that double layer of cardstock. As you saw behind the kangaroo, I did 2 layers of all the die cut letters too, and to do the layers on the die cut letters, I just cut 2 of them. Made it simple for myself. And I love to finish off my cards with the Cat Scrappiness jewels and sequins, so I picked out a bunch of different pink ones and then brought it to the card and saw which one I liked best. These Snowflake Kisses, which is obviously a winter set, actually worked out perfect for the card because it was just the right kind of soft pink. So I always say, don't limit yourself to like thinking, oh, this is a Halloween set. Well, you might just want black sequins. And so you can go in there and just pull out a few. It doesn't really ruin the mix. I'm only going to use 3 sequins, so it doesn't really change up the ratio that much. And I can totally use this mix in a shaker card in the future. And I'm going to create a really simple visual triangle here around the sentiment to just kind of tie it in, highlight it a little bit, give it that finishing touch. I'm going to pick the most pink of the sequins because there's a lot of like clear and sort of this like off-white cream, I want to say, sequin in here, but I really wanted to emphasize the pink. And so then, I'm just attaching them with like little glue dots. And that's it for my card today. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're interested in more crafting tutorials, be sure to subscribe to my channel. Like I mentioned, the products will be mentioned in the video description below, but there will also be a coupon code for Cat Scrappiness if you're interested in picking up this new set. Thank you so much for watching. Have an awesome day. Bye.